Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Vanessa and today we're going to be doing a very late update for the Pan and Everything or Pie Project Pan started by Jessica Lee here on YouTube. I once again filmed this and needed to refilm it, so I have hit more pans than I did last time, but we are going to be rolling in a bunch of things, we're going to be rolling out a bunch of things, the whole shebang. So let's let's start with the products that was in this project. Then we'll talk about other eyeshadow palettes I've hit pan in, and then we'll roll in some stuff. So just a reminder, my overall goal for this project pan is to hit pan in all of my palettes, so to have 100% of my palettes have pan, and to get 25% of my eyeshadow collection to have pan. That's, yeah, my overall goal. So let's start off with the stuff that was in this project. So the first thing, I think I'm saying is in the right order, the first thing I rolled in last time was the What Dreams Are Made Of palette from ColourPop, and the color we rolled in was Dear Diary. So last time I had used this shade 4 times. I used it an additional 18 times, and I hope you can see here, I'll post a picture, that I did hit pan. So this was an absolutely beautiful shade. However, it crumbled. Like it's like dust. I don't know how else to explain it. Like just swatching, I've covered the pan because so much product kicks up. So I actually ended up scraping some out and repressing it into a different pan. So that's what a beautiful neon green color. I usually used it on my inner corner, to be honest. I did not take any pictures. I don't have the phone storage to be able to take enough pictures for all my looks, but I'm pretty sure all 22 uses were on the inner corner except for maybe 1 or 2 where I put it on the lid. So that's the first palette, and that's the first one rolling out. The second palette we had rolled in, the second palette we're going to be talking about today is the Juvia's Place The Berries palette. I had rolled in the 3rd shade officially last time, so there are 0 uses on it. I used it 14 times, and as you can see here, I did hit pan. So I hit pan on the 13th use. 3 or 4 of those uses were used as an eyeshadow because, like, if you know Juvia's Place, you know their pans aren't incredibly deep, but their products are very hard pressed. And so I could not use a brush with this color. I don't have a brush stiff enough to try and pick up enough product, so I had to use my finger when I was applying it to my nails or to my eyes in order to get an even wash of color, which I don't mind doing, but it's definitely annoying. I don't like touching eyeshadows with my fingers just because I tend to multitask when I'm doing stuff, and I don't like, I end up getting eyeshadow on literally everything. Clothes, phone, cat, all of the above. So that is the second shade. It was a beautiful duochrome, pink to a reddy orange color. Really, really pretty on the eyes and on the nails. But yeah, that's 2 down, 2 to go, right? Because I have 4 shades in this project. The third shadow we're going to be talking about was from the ABH and Norvina Pro Pigment Palette Volume 4. I had rolled in A5, which at the last update, I had 5 uses. I used it 24 more times, if I can open this, and you can see, as best as I can show you, I did hit pan. I'll post the picture again. This shade crumbled like you wouldn't believe. So like the Dear Diary shade, I ended up repressing this one, but when I repressed it, it didn't help. So I ended up repressing it with another shadow that I'm going to be talking about in a moment, because it crumbled everywhere. Really pretty. Obviously, I used it a lot, a total of 29 times, but I can't tell you when I hit pan because I had to repress a whole bunch in order to like use it the way I want to use it. Otherwise, I probably could have hit pan in like 10 uses, but I just don't want to justify it that way because as soon as I touch my brush in it, any type of pressure other than just like a little doot product went everywhere. The whole shadow moved, so that's really annoying, especially for a palette this expensive. But I hit pan and we're rolling it out, and we'll deal with that palette when I roll it into another project or choose to use it some other time. And then the last, oh, I didn't swatch that. Oops. And that, just super light pink, borderline my skin color, but pinker, shade is A5. And then the last palette we rolled in was the Natasha Denona Gold, or Mini Gold palette. I had chosen to hit pan on the shade Lodge. As of the last time, I had used this 3 times. And since the last update, I've used it another 31 times for a total of 34 uses in the project. And there is barely a dip. There's just starting to be like an actual like kind of crater, if you will. It's this olivey brown green shade down here. Beautiful. Obviously I use it a lot. I use it pretty much every day. I am using it today with another shade that I hit pan on today. It's crazy. Okay, so like I said, use this 34 times. I've used this shade, what are you, Anthea, twice, and there's a bigger dip in this shade than in this, and then in Lodge. So part of me wants to just hit pan in Anthea, but I'm gonna need a crease color anyway, so, and I said I wanted to hit pan in Lodge, and I've hit pan in shimmer Natasha Denona shades before, but I've never hit pan in a matte by Natasha Denona, so I'm really curious how many uses that would take me. Okay, so Natasha Denona Lodge is going to stay in the project. I'm going to be rolling in 3 new shades, but before we do that, I just want to talk about some of the other palettes I hit pan on. So, from roughly first pan to more recent pan, the first pan I hit, the first shade I hit pan in was from ColourPop Plush Like Me. I hit pan in the shade Video Night. This was the shade. It's virtually identical to A5 from the oh my gosh, I'm tongue-tied. Virtually identical to A5 from ABH, which is why I press them together. This shade is also super shallow and also kind of like fluffy, so whatever. I hit pan in both, and basically I should have taken a picture, but I did repress it. I used the whole repressing before I counted those as pans. Anyways, the second shade, the next palette I hit pan in was the ColourPop Powerpuff Girls palette. I really want to say I hit shade. I don't know why. I hit pan in the shade Super Friends, this blue glitter. I use glitter nail polishes strictly on my nails, which is, I do have that on my nails right now. I hit pan in this shade, which is only on 2 fingers. I'll talk about that one in a moment. But I hit pan in this glitter. My goal for the rest of this year and for next year is to hit pan and to finish as many glitter shades as I can on my nails, since I don't have any cool nail polish. My nail polish is pretty old, so they're all just regular cremes, so hopefully using the glitter can kind of spice them up a little bit. But that's the first glitter. And then I hit pan in glitter shades from 3 different Cara Beauty palettes. So the first one is from the Cara Beauty Peace and Lovin' in the shade Fuzz. This was also a glitter, and I finished that one in like 6 uses. So this one I have high hopes that I can finish it in relatively few manicures. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, in the shade Fuzz, this beautiful like fuchsia super glittery pink. The next one I hit was in the Cara Beauty Summer Days in the shade PCH, which is this super chunky, greeny, minty green glitter. And then the last glitter, not the last glitter, the last Cara Beauty glitter I hit pan in is from Flower Powers, and that's in the shade Sunshine. Hopefully you can see that. This is kind of reflective. So that was 3 more glitters I hit pan in. The next one is also a glitter. Now, I have conflicting feelings about this palette. It's the ColourPop Harry Potter palette. I hit pan, if I can open it, and the shade Forbidden Force, which is this eggplanty, purpley, blue, indigo, all the shades, glitter. Now, Harry Potter is a really, really big part of my childhood, like many people my age or cool people that like wizards. It was the first series. No, I have two older siblings, and when they were little kids, my mom would read Harry Potter to them. So it was technically, while I was in the womb, the first book I ever read. It's the first series I ever read. It's the first movie I ever saw in theaters. It's the first birthday party theme I remember having. It's a really big part of my life. So as soon as I saw ColourPop came out with this, I immediately bought it because I was so excited. And then a couple days later, not even, I saw Misty's video about ColourPop and Juvia's Place, and like her ranting about how problematic they are. And I immediately felt bad because I forgot how awful of a human J.K. Rowling was, and now this palette is kind of tainted because it's beautiful and I adore it and I love Harry Potter, the artwork, the everything, but I don't want to support her. She is just a terrible person, human being, and I don't appreciate having that in my videos. So if you see this, I hope you remember that I bought it out of nostalgia, and it completely slipped my mind. I should have taken an extra second before buying this for the sole reason I don't need more makeup, but two, because the creator of Harry Potter is just not a person I want to be giving my money to. Rant over. The last shade I hit pan, or the last new palette I hit pan in, is the Marc Jacobs Extravagance eyeshadow palette. I hit pan in the shade The Only. I don't think you're going to be able to see it, but it's this like straight line right here. I use this with the Natasha Denona at least 10 or 15 times. Similarly to the ABH shade, it kind of poofed everywhere. It was hard to pick up, so I did, like, I dig in and then I use whatever I moved out of the way. I dig in, I'd use whatever I moved out of the way. But that's the last palette I hit pan in for this, 6 weeks since the last update. I have hit other shades. Oh, I should mention I did hit shades. I did hit pan in my Natasha Denona retro palette. This was in my Project Level Up, so I did hit pan in that one. And I've hit singles shades. I hit pan in I hit pan in palettes that already have pan, and in a couple of Super Shocks. So collectively, as of right now, I have pan in 39 palettes, which in my collection now means I have pan in 33% of my palettes. And total eyeshadows with pan, I have 66, which is 4.5% of my collection. I hope I said all of that right. Let's just move on to the rolling in. So I have gotten more palettes since the last update. So I now have 119 palettes in my collection. So I do have a title on my spreadsheet. So I have 2 to 120. My goodness. Let's just get this move on because I will drown on forever. So first one is 65. 89, 3, and I'll roll one extra just to be safe, 57. Oh, I feel like I need a drink. Okay, so of those 4 palettes I rolled in, 3 of them have pan, so we're gonna roll again. 115, 91, 55, one more for good measure, and 10. Okay. Of those 4 palettes, 3 of them had pan. So, come on, last one. 71. I'm just going to check right now before we keep rolling. How crazy. 71. Ooh, I can roll in 71. Okay, give me a second. Let me find it. And then... No, it's right here. Right? This is the right one? Okay. So, the palettes I'm rolling in, the first one from round 1 of rolling that I got is the Morphe Bronzed Babe or 9B palette. It looks like this. Just a nice little neutral palette. I think I'm going to try to hit pan in one of the shimmers. I think I'm going to go for Sunny, something easy I can throw on my inner corner. I'm going to swatch it on my other hand. I might change my mind. If I change my mind, I will let you guys know. But it's just this pretty champagne color. Ooh, I should swatch Lodge. Sorry. I work at a high school and we were doing a lab today and my brain is broken because unfortunately kids these days have learned helplessness. So even though it wasn't a complicated lab and there's maybe 3 steps, the kids kept asking for reassurance even though they were doing just fine. So I just feel like I talked and talked and talked today when I really didn't need to. Anyways, so the second round of roll-ins, the one that I rolled in was the ColourPop and Raw Beauty Christie at Foresight palette. I have never used this. I'm so excited. I also think I'm going to roll in a shimmer, probably Evergreen. This super pretty shade right here, just so we can go with Lodge. Oh, that's super light. Oh, that's more like a topper. Okay. It shows up not too bad. It's kind of duochrome-y, but it's very subtle on my hand. We'll see how that goes. I'm sure it'll be fine. That'll be 2.